One pitch, real stadium, real lights, real pitcher standing 60 feet away with no reason to be kind. You get a bat, one swing, and a fastball coming in at 95 miles per hour. Put it in fair territory and you win. Miss it, and the moment ends exactly the way physics expects. No second chances, no friendly redo, just one clean moment that decides everything. A 95 miles per hour fastball gives you less time to react than it takes to blink twice, and you still have to square it up perfectly. So here's the question that sounds simple until you really sit with it. Could a completely normal person hit a 95 mile per hour major league fastball, not foul it straight back by accident, not barely tick it off the end of the bat, actually square it up in a real game with real intent behind the pitch? Because on the surface, it feels possible. It's just a ball, just a swing. People make contact every weekend in local parks where the fences lean a little and someone's uncle is keeping score in a notebook. You've probably hit a baseball before. You've probably felt that one clean connection that makes you think, okay, maybe I'm not terrible at this. But Major League Baseball is not that world. And 95 miles per hour is not just fast. It lives right on the border of what the human brain and body can process in real time. A place where reaction becomes instinct, and instinct still isn't always enough. If you're not a subscriber, picture stepping into the batter's box right now. No warm-up that matters. No gentle tosses to calm your nerves. Just a pitcher who has spent his entire life perfecting this exact moment, and 40,000 people waiting to see how quickly this goes wrong. You adjust your grip. You pretend your hands aren't shaking. You try to look like you belong in a place that immediately knows you don't. You try to look calm. You tap the plate like you belong. But the pitcher already knows the truth. And the catcher setting the target definitely knows. Even the infielders creeping a step closer know. You are not supposed to succeed here, and the next 0.4 of a second will prove it. Everything you are about to attempt lives inside a blink that hasn't even happened yet. Let's slow everything down, honestly. Not with hype, not with dramatic music, just with timing. Because timing is where this entire dream collapses. A 95 mile per hour fastball travels about 139 feet per second. Home plate sits 60 feet and 6 inches from the mound. So the ball reaches the plate in roughly 0.4 of a second. Imagine trying to read a street sign while a car passes you at highway speed. Except the sign is spinning and you have to hit it with a stick. Because pitchers release the ball several feet in front of the rubber, what hitters actually see is often even less than that. Sometimes closer to 0.3, sometimes even tighter depending on extension and angle. That tiny window is your entire universe. Less than half a second to see the ball, understand it, decide to swing, and move the bat to the exact right place. No pause button, no slow motion, just pure reaction against elite speed. Now think about normal human reaction time. If something slips from your hand, you react in about 0.2 to 0.3 of a second. That already burns most of the time the baseball is in the air. And that's reacting to something simple, not a spinning object moving faster than anything you see in daily life, and you still haven't swung. You're only at the point where your brain says, go. The body still has to follow, because a full major league swing, from the instant a hitter commits to the moment of contact, takes close to 0.2 of a second on its own. That motion is explosive, violent, and incredibly precise. It is trained over years, not weekends. Stack the numbers together, and something uncomfortable appears. You're left with maybe 5 to 10 hundredths of a second of real decision time. That's 50 to 100 milliseconds. Shorter than a blink. Shorter than the time it takes to tap your finger on a table. And this is where the air changes. The crowd becomes noise without shape. Your heartbeat sounds louder than the stadium. Breath tight. Chest locked. Not time to think. Just time to choose. Yes or no. Now or never. That's not a sports problem anymore. That's a biological limit. A boundary written into how fast nerves fire and muscles respond. And the environment around that moment keeps getting harsher. Because the game hasn't stayed the same while humans stayed human. 95 miles per hour used to feel rare. Now it's ordinary. Average fastball velocity across Major League Baseball has climbed into the mid-90s. Right-handed relievers often throw even harder. Pitchers who sit at 97 or 98 are no longer shocking. Thousands of pitches in a single season now reach 100 miles per hour or more. Triple digits used to mean legend. Now it can mean Tuesday night in July. So elite hitters see this speed constantly. They train for it their entire lives. Their eyes, timing, and mechanics are built around surviving this exact challenge. Every drill, every batting practice round, every slow-motion video session, all of it points to this one skill, meeting impossible speed with controlled violence, and they still fail a lot. Think about the night Aroldis Chapman threw 103 past elite hitters in the ninth inning. Former All-Stars swung late. One never moved the bat at all. Not guessing, not careless. Simply frozen by speed everyone knew was coming. Batting average drops as velocity rises. Around 90 miles per hour, hitters look comfortable. Near 100, averages sink toward the low 200s. Strikeouts climb, misses become normal. Even perfect swings sometimes come up empty because the margin is that thin. So even the best hitters on Earth struggle when the speed reaches this level. If they are close to the edge, a normal person is far beyond it, not a step behind, miles behind. And speed alone isn't the full story, because hitting is not just reacting, it's recognizing. And this is where the space around you starts to close in. The pitcher moves, the ball leaves his hand, and for a split second, you lose it in the lights. Understanding shape, spin, and deception before the brain has time to explain it. Before panic finishes rising, before the moment is gone. A real Major League fastball rarely travels perfectly straight. It might rise slightly, run sideways, cut late, sink under the barrel at the final instant. Movements so subtle you barely see them until the bat misses completely. Those movements are small, but at 95 miles per hour, small is enough. A difference of an inch turns solid contact into empty air. A difference of a few milliseconds turns confidence into embarrassment. Major league hitters learn to read spin the moment the ball leaves the pitcher's hand. They study release angles, arm speed, pitch patterns from earlier in the game. All of that happens subconsciously, built from thousands of hours of repetition. They are not guessing randomly, they are predicting with experience. A normal person has none of that. To them, the ball is just a blur moving too fast to understand. By the time recognition begins, the opportunity is already gone. And even if you somehow guess correctly, fastball, middle of the plate, you still face mechanics, because knowing what's coming doesn't mean you can do anything about it. A professional swing is compact, efficient, and repeatable. The barrel travels the shortest path possible. Every movement is tuned for speed and precision. Nothing is wasted, nothing is late. A normal swing is longer, slower, less controlled, built for fun, not survival. Tiny timing errors turn into complete misses, and at this speed, tiny is everything. Timing at 95 miles per hour is brutally unforgiving. Being late by just a few milliseconds means the ball is already past the barrel. Being early by the same amount sends the bat through empty space. There is no safe middle ground, only perfect or nothing. So the margin for success is microscopic. A window only a few inches wide in space and a few milliseconds long in time, close enough to feel possible, small enough to erase almost everyone. Now let's walk through the moment step by step, like a probability chain tightening around you. First, you must see the ball clearly out of the pitcher's hand. Many untrained people simply lose track of it halfway to the plate. The speed overwhelms the eyes, the spin blurs, vision falls behind reality. Second, you must identify the pitch. Real at-bats include sliders, curves, and change-ups mixed with fastballs. If you guess wrong, the swing is already doomed, and pitchers know how to make you guess wrong on purpose. Third, you must decide to swing within that tiny 50 to 100 millisecond window. Your pulse is pounding in your ears. The stadium fades. Time feels wrong. Average human processing speed is too slow. By the time a normal brain commits, the ball is nearly gone. You are choosing after the moment has already passed. Fourth, you must execute a perfect swing in about 0.2 of a second, not just fast, precise, balanced, on plane with the pitch. Anything less produces weak contact or none at all. Finally, you must square the barrel to a moving ball only a few inches wide. Even professionals fail here most of the time, and they are the best in the world at everything that came before. When you multiply all those probabilities together, the result collapses. Seeing clearly, choosing correctly, swinging fast enough, hitting the exact spot. For elite hitters, success might happen in 20 to 30% of favorable situations. For a normal person who struggles at every earlier step, the combined chance drops towards zero. Not dramatically, quietly, inevitably. And this is where tension really settles in, because the dream scenario everyone imagines, the lucky swing, the accidental bloop, requires everything to break perfectly at once. No deception, perfect timing, clean mechanics, correct guess, exact contact point, all inside less than half a second. Miss any single piece, and the swing becomes nothing but air, and air doesn't win anything. Could special circumstances help? Maybe. Months in a batting cage against a machine throwing straight 95 might teach your body to foul one off. But that removes deception, pressure, and real competition. It stops being Major League Baseball. Former high-level amateur players might have a tiny chance with multiple attempts, but then they are no longer normal. They are trained hitters whose skills never fully disappeared. A pitcher throwing gentle, predictable fastballs for show might allow contact eventually, but that is demonstration, not survival, not real intent, not real danger. In a true major league game, pitcher trying to win, defense ready, crowd alive, none of those advantages exist, and that leads to the only honest conclusion. A 95-mile-per-hour fastball reaches home plate in roughly 0.4 of a second. After reaction time and swing duration, a hitter gets only a few hundredths of a second to decide. Professional hitters train their entire lives for that moment and still struggle as velocity climbs. A normal person, with slower reactions, weaker mechanics, and no experience reading elite pitching, is overwhelmed before the swing even begins. So can a normal person truly hit a 95-mile-per-hour Major League fastball in a real game? Realistically, it might be 1 in 20,000, or worse. Because this is not just about strength or courage, it is about time. And time, at 95 miles per hour, disappears. And maybe that's the real takeaway hiding underneath the question. Every routine ground ball you watch on television, every simple single to right field, every quiet moment of contact that looks ordinary, is actually timing, perception, and precision pushed to the absolute human limit. Which means the miracle isn't that a normal person would fail. The miracle is that anyone succeeds at all. And if speed alone felt terrifying, next time, the challenge won't be about timing. It won't be about reaction. It will be about standing in front of someone trained to hurt you and lasting one full round. Because surviving impact is a very different kind of impossible. Speed can freeze you, but impact breaks you. And next time, we stop asking about reaction time. We step into the ring. No bat, no helmet, no pads, just you, and someone trained to hurt you. Can a normal person survive one round with a professional boxer? That's next.